Hey there, welcome to my channel today. It is day 3 of HelloFresh meal prep. If you've not liked and subscribed yet, please do. I would appreciate it lots. Today is pesto turkey burgers. And I really don't know why I picked these. My husband's not a big burger fan anyway, but these look delicious. They're super easy. There's the prep card. I don't know if I mentioned this the other day, but they do send a document that has all the nutritional information. So actually, if you're collecting the recipes into a folder or something, you can include the nutritional information. The pesto turkey burgers, as prepared, serving size is 970 calories. That's kind of up there. So if you're watching your weight, that might not be a good pick. Now, the pork and Thai basil stir fry, that's not one that I picked this week. The calories as prepared on that entree is 530, and the cranberry pineapple pork chops, that was the first dish I done, that's 510 as prepared. So much lower, so there are some options there, and it's good to actually vary your calories anyway, because then your body doesn't know what's happening, so it naturally gets rid of the weight or whatever if you're watching your weight. I'm going to talk, right? I've done it twice, though, so I kind of know how all that stuff works. I just can't, So anyway, pesto turkey burgers, and they have, it says with melty mozzarella and lemony roasted carrots on the side. So I asked hubby, we like our carrots plain, like just with salt and pepper, and I asked him, do you want me to leave the lemon out? And he said, no, go ahead and do it. So I thought, well, he said we won't know if we like it if we don't try it. And sometimes that opens us up to more creative flavors and things. So be back in just a second. I'm going to turn the light on. I forgot to do that. Okay, so we have 2 packets of ground turkey, and it's a total of 20 ounces. So each burger is going to be about 5 ounces a piece. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's a nice size piece of meat, so I'm excited about that. We're going to open our bag and see what all came. I pulled out that bag so in case our turkey packages happen to leak or anything. Okay, we've got some tomatoes. These actually don't look that good. This actually looks like a really light orange color. This one's a little more red, but it's still pretty light colored. I'm not a huge tomato fan anyway. I like them if they're good and ripe and delicious. Here's 2 of the brioche buns. I'm gonna have to slice those. 2 more brioche buns for the hamburgers. Hubby also likes his hamburgers on light bread, but he says he's going to try it on the brioche buns, so that's good. We have 4 carrots, which I really like the whole carrots versus baby carrots, because you'd be shocked what they do to baby carrots to have them look so pretty and orange. They process the mess out of them, and they actually wash them in bleach, which is nuts that we actually eat that stuff. So I lean towards a real carrot. I peel them. I always peel them, and then roast them in the oven. And that's what we eat. I sometimes leave them whole. I may cut them in sort of like matchstick type, or not matchsticks, but long sticks, thicker than matchstick. I didn't mean to say that. Sometimes I'll dice them up into little coins. But we love fresh carrots. I've got 2 packages of mozzarella cheese. They really package this stuff smartly, because you can buy meals for a family of 2, or you can get meals for a family of 4. So that's the reason for 2 of certain things. 2 packages of meat, 2 things of cheese, 2 things of mayonnaise. So, if you're ordering for a family of 2, you're obviously going to get 1 of each of these things. And then we have a lemon for our lemony carrots, and basil pesto. So I'm super excited to see how all this turns out. I'll be taking the buns home and toasting them there. So they're going to actually stay just like they are. And then I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff ready to prep. I'm going to pull out my pans and all the extra spices that I need. I'm going to need a peeler. a baking sheet, 2 medium bowls, a large pan, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of butter, a small bowl, and a zester. I don't have a zester, so we're going to use a cheese grater. That's going to work fine. So, okay, back in a bit. Okay, I'm back. So I have all my stuff together. One thing I've noticed that it does not say is salt and pepper. It doesn't list that on the items that you need, and you almost always need salt and pepper. And I do believe the other day that olive oil wasn't listed, and we ended up needing that. It is listed on this recipe though. So I just wanted to point that out. Salt, pepper, olive oil, I would always pull that out if it were me. So I'm gonna peel the carrots. Whoop. The carrots seem pretty fresh. There is one that is pretty soft. I don't necessarily, I mean, it's still a pretty color orange, so I don't necessarily know that that's necessarily a bad thing. But I want to point out to you guys so you're aware. It's good to know what to expect. I was excited because I peeked over there and my mama had a tomato, and I said, "Are you going to the grocery store tomorrow?" And she said, "Maybe. Why?" I said, "Well," I said, "my tomatoes don't look that good, but I see you've got a really pretty red one over there." So she said, "Go ahead and use it, it's fine." So let me just show you really quick why I'm going to use her tomato. This is hers. This is the one I was sent. And even this one too, you see it's a little more red, but hers is just a gorgeous, gorgeous red. So I'm leaving these two for her. She may end up using them for tomato gravy, she said, because you cook them anyway. I don't like tomato gravy, just so you know. I'm a Southern gal, and I love my mama's Southern cooking, but there's just some things I have not developed a taste for. That would be lima beans and tomato gravy. That's pretty much it. Everything else I have grown up to like. Now that being said, I don't really cook Southern. She does, but my method of cooking is so different from hers. I cook more like what we've been making this week with HelloFresh. So, I like to get creative in the kitchen. And most of my family loves it. My dad is funny. He'll be like, "What am I eating?" But he'll eat it anyway. My uncle loves my cooking. We often send him plates. Mom and Dad both separately have told me how much he loves my cooking, so that's pretty cool. Okay, I got all that cut up. Get a mess here. Okay. It says to cut them diagonally, which isn't really one of my strong suits. I've never really, it's 1/2 inch slices though. That's kind of thick. I could probably cut them all at the same time. This is actually not as hard as I thought it might be. And they look a little on the fancy side, so I like that. I'm not the best chopper, so I'm actually going to stop the video. I will be back when I have them all chopped up. Okay, so the ground turkey is ground very, very finely. So, of course, it wants to get all up in my nails and everything. So, I'm going to wear these wonderful food prep gloves that my mother keeps here. She makes food a lot to take to, like, socials at church and things. So, she does the sanitary thing and wears these food prep gloves, but they're good for keeping the gunk out from underneath the fake nails. So thankfully, all right, I probably should have opened the stuff before I put these on. 2 tablespoons of pesto in with the turkey and a pinch of salt and pepper. We're going to shape them into 4-inch wide patties. Heat a tablespoon of butter and olive oil in a large pan. Once butter is melted, add patties and cook till nicely browned on bottom, about 6 minutes. So I'm going to get a plate to put my patties on. I'm going to, hopefully this will fit. It does not. So let me see how I want to do this. I'm going to pour my pesto into a larger container. Sorry about that. Come on. Okay. Pesto is something that I like a lot.
What you making?
Hamburgers and roasted carrots.
You're filming.
I am filming.
That's when we need to do the and you can't do that cabinet.
Okay, no, sorry. Go out. Go get your big cup out of the car.
That's not a bad idea.
Okay. 2 tablespoons of pesto. I certainly did not want to add that while he was standing over my shoulder. That used almost all the pesto. Let me get some that didn't touch the turkey and put back in here. Okay, mixing up the turkey.
Diet now.
Okay, and again, this is going to make 4 patties, 3 for my family and 1 for hubby for lunch. So I'm going to kind of pull out the, I should have oiled these gloves a little bit. I'm actually going to make them into balls first to make sure that I don't have them missized. I'm bad about that, getting too much at the beginning and then at the end I have none. And I would totally pause the video now if I could, but I cannot, so 2. If you wanted to be precise, you could of course weigh out 5 ounces. 3. I did that pretty much perfect. Awesomely enough. The pesto smells like trees. It smells very planty, which is normal because it's basil and olive oil, basically, is what pesto is, I believe. I could be wrong. It's nut-free. All right, so there's my patties. I'm going to patty them out and get the fry pan going. I'm going to actually pull these off really quick. I'll have to get another pair. I'm going to season my carrots. It says I should do that after I do the olive oil. It says 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That's a lot, so I'm going to get it all nice and coated well. Then I'm going to have to wash my hands because I can't pick up the salt and pepper. This is not a lot of carrots. That's one thing I'll say. we've been 100% happy with everything we've gotten so far. Today I was upset about the tomatoes and there's not many carrots. My son probably won't eat no carrots, so we'll be fine anyway, but that's something to be aware of, that they did skimp a bit on the carrots. Sorry for the delay there. There we go. Salt and pepper. These are going to go for (15 to 20 minutes). So I'm actually going to put them in for 18 and then I'll check them. All right, I'm going to stop the camera right now. I'm going to get the pan going. I'm going to fry up the burgers, and then I'm probably going to take the cheese home and melt it just before hubby gets home. That way they're nice and hot. We'll make the pesto mayo. I'll season the carrots here on screen, and I'm also going to be toasting the buns at home. But we'll talk about that more in a bit. Okay, the burgers are over there frying. It says to fry them good until they're browned on the bottom, about 6 minutes. So I don't want to touch them because they are very, what's the word for it? They're ground so fine that it's kind of like playing with mud, sort of. I mean, you know, the way that it'll stick to your hands and any surface. So I'm praying to God they don't stick to the pan. I'm going to open the mayo, and it says to... Sorry about that. That was a phone call. It says to put the mayonnaise and the pesto in a container. And mix it up. Hopefully that's enough. Oh, you know what? I need my funky little spoon. Hold on. That handy little spoon that fits inside these tiny mouth jars just so perfectly. There ain't gonna be getting all the stuff out of this one because part of the mayo and see how it comes out instead of using all of it, because I don't feel like I have a whole lot of pesto left, and the boy likes plain mayo anyway, even though we have that at home. I'm gonna take that home and see if he wants his mayo out of a cute little jar. Ooh, that's good. Okay, so let me see if I can get some of that pesto out of the... Hi, Bubby.
Hi.
You calling your dad?
No, he called me.
Oh, okay. You calling him back?
He's
On hold? Oh, okay.
He's on his way home. You want him from here, or
I don't know. Ask him what he wants to do. I can definitely go home.
what do you want to do?
It's totally up to him. If he wants to go...
It's up to you.
No. Oh, you're telling him? Oh, okay. We're trying to get an answer out of me.
It's up to
Sorry,
you.
family stuff going on here. Now for transport, I'm just gonna put this right back in there. Probably about another 30 minutes by the time I get everything cleaned up.
About another half hour.
What do you say?
Home.
Huh? Home? Okay. Alright. So I am taking it all to go. That is actually very good. I'm usually not a fan. Well, I usually say no pesto mayo, but that's actually very good. I'm going to cap this one to go. all that's going home with me. This one's garbage. And we only have about 45 seconds left on the burgers, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and pop over there and hopefully be able to flip them without them sticking to the pan. Okay, so the hubby is on his way home. He's gonna beat me there. So I'm quickly going to get the carrots prepped. I almost burned them because I turned my timer off when I reset it for something else. And thankfully I didn't. They're actually perfectly done. So that one's got a little char on it right there. So I'm gonna toss those in there. And to finish up the carrots, it simply says to zest the lemon. Put it in there with 2 teaspoons of zest and a squeeze or 2 of lemon and pepper to taste. And we're going to toss it. That's all there is to it. So 2 teaspoons of zest. Most of it is sticking in my oh, it smells so good. Most of it is sticking in my thing. Yeah, that's not working very well. Let me try this. I've never zested a lemon before, can you tell? I know that some people do use graters for them, but obviously I need to get a zester if I'm going to do much of this. Okay, so we're going to call that good. It may not be enough. I'm going to go over here and tend to my burgers back in. So I have to wash this pan anyway, so I'm going to just put my burgers on here for right now and let them rest a bit. I did smush them down with a spatula. That comes from years of thinking that's what you were supposed to do to cook a burger, not realizing that you're supposed to let it rest first. So, have that all done. And I do have some pieces that came off while I was flipping. So I'm going to taste it. I'm going to give you the honest opinion. I taste very little of the pesto, but that may be because it's just off the one little area of the burger. You may taste more of the pesto when you get into it, and the pesto mayonnaise will go on the bun. It's got a very good flavor. I guess with the salt and pepper and the pesto in there, it doesn't taste like turkey to me. I've eaten turkey a few times in my life, turkey burgers I should say. I love regular turkey, but turkey burgers aren't real big for me. But these I believe are going to be delicious. We will see what the consensus is. I'm going to set those over there out of the way for just a minute, and we're going to finish up the carrots. Just going to slice that, and we're going to give it a little squeeze and another little squeeze. They said a squeeze or 2 of lemon, so that's all I did. Very good. The burger is very good. I'm going to put this zest in here. I don't think that's quite 2 teaspoons, but this is a bit outside of our norm, so we're going to stick with the little bit that I have. It's probably about a teaspoon. I'm just going to mix them up really good. They look so good. Anybody that saw them, they'd be like, what's that yellow stuff in them? Okay, not enough lemon to taste, so I'm going to give it a little more lemon juice and see if I can zest a little more of this lemon. It may be different if I'm shoveling a bite in versus just a piece of carrot. I'm going to go ahead and do a little more. try not to cut my finger off here. I'm going at it like a bull in a china cabinet, like my mother would say. My mother's always very careful with things. I go at it full blown. And it's a wonder I did not cut myself there. Okay. We're gonna call this good. Like I said, not many carrots. I would say this is barely 2 helpings. So that I'm really not that pleased with. We'll be fine because we have fruit for dessert, so we'll just eat fruit if we're hungry. Now let's see, I'm gonna pack this stuff up to take home. I'm actually gonna put the burgers just here in a Ziploc bag. I hope they're done all the way through. That is one thing I do not like is pink burgers. I love my steak medium rare. But burgers, they have to be well done. So when I get home, I'm actually going to heat them in my new wave oven. And I'm going to put the mozzarella cheese. I should have probably put those in tin foil instead of that. It'll probably be fine. But I'm changing it up here. I'm going to put it in tin foil instead. There we go, that's gonna be perfect. I am also gonna cut up my tomato really quick. I am filming, just so you know. I'm getting thank you for talking to yourself. Well, I didn't know if you heard me. I'm filming. I'm gonna cut up our tomatoes so that they are done. Or tomato, I should say. Tomato. Okay, Miss Dean, where's my mirror? Oh, I'll set it on the counter. Dean was in the bathroom when I went to put it back. Not the best at slicing a tomato either, but this prevents very little prep at home. I will put them in the new wave, the burgers, and let them heat up. I'm going to toast the buns in the new wave as well. And I'll melt the cheese after I heat the burgers back up. They probably won't be cold by the time I get home, but they'll be, you know, the cheese won't melt very well. So there's 4 slices of tomato. We're going to call that good. I'm not a huge tomato fan. I grew up hating them, as a matter of fact. And then when I was pregnant with my son, 14 years ago, I ate them for the first time. My other 2, my daughter and my husband thought I was nuts. And I've been eating them ever since, but I don't eat them a lot, so I should have actually taken that with me too. Oh well, it's okay. Putting all my trash in the bag. And then the carrots, I'm going to just put in a Ziploc. And that's going to do it. I'm anxious to see what hubby says about this dish. I think I'm going to love it. Oh, I should totally cut my buns up too. I'm not going to just because they are in packages already, and that way I don't have to figure out how to transport them. Although I can put all 4 of them in a gallon bag and get them home that way. But some of that yummy lemon zest, get it in there. I'm anxious to taste those for real. Okay, so that's gonna do it. I'm gonna get cleaned up here and hopefully I can get a review from hubby and we'll see how it goes. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, so here's the finished product and the burger is absolutely delicious. I put the pesto mayo on mine. My husband and my son both elected not to. Greg has already eaten his carrots. I was helping the boy get finished prepping his.
I've eaten most of my burger too.
So tell them what your thoughts are on both.
The carrots were delicious, but I would prefer to not to have the lemon, whatever it is on it.
I think that's how I am too. It's good for a twist on things, and it actually goes really well with the pesto,
Okay.
like combination wise.
The tomato's delicious.
That actually was Mom's tomato. I had a tomato mishap. They looked terrible, and you know how I am about tomatoes. I have like that love-hate relationship with them anyway, or hate-like probably is a better way to describe it. And I felt like that if I cut into them that they wouldn't be good. So I went to her and said, "Are you going to the grocery store tomorrow?" She's like, "I don't know. Why? Probably." She said, "Why?" And I said, "Because your tomato looks gorgeous and mine don't look so good." So she said she'd take mine, and if she made something like tomato gravy that she would cook, that she would use mine so that I could use hers. So yeah, the tomato is delicious. I'm so glad that I did switch them out because I don't think the others would have been as good. So that's one of the gripes I had about this particular meal package. Okay, go ahead.
The tomato is delicious. Love the mozzarella.
The mozzarella tasted very fresh.
Love the bun.
That's surprising because you don't usually like buns. You like light bread. He
Right.
always eats light bread with his homemade hamburgers.
The burger itself is good. I prefer beef.
Now, do you know that it's not beef tasting it, or do you know it just because I told you what it was?
You can tell by the texture and the flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can understand that, but I think it's delicious.
It's delicious.
Did you have as many carrots as I did, or did you have a lot less?
I had a few less.
Okay, so you see here, this is supposed to be a meal for a family of 4, and mine might be, I did offer him a few more, but he said he didn't want them. So mine might be a little on the bigger side, like I probably wouldn't have gotten that many myself, but my son had none, and now he has none for lunch tomorrow, so...
I'll survive.
So you're really not a fan of the lemon carrots then?
If it didn't have a lemon in it, it'd have been delicious.
Yeah, they looked so good when
They
I
are
finished
very
them.
good carrots.
Yeah, they looked really, really beautiful and delicious when I finished them, and I almost didn't do the lemon, but you told me earlier when we talked to go ahead and do it, so I did.
Well, you don't know till you try.
I know, that's true.
Oh.
And I may not be the best at zesting a lemon either. I got down into the white part. I think zest of lemon is technically just the yellow peel because I didn't have a zester. I had to use, so instead of a zester, I had to use a cheese grater. So I may not have zested the lemon correctly, so that may have something to do with it. All right, go ahead.
So I would definitely do this again.
The turkey burgers.
The turkey burgers.
Okay.
And it's not beef, but it's delicious.
Much lower in cholesterol.
That's where all the flavor went.
Okay, well, like I say, this is the end of our first week of HelloFresh. So this is the end of our first week of HelloFresh, and I love it. There were a couple snafus with this last meal here, the tomato not being up to par and a shortage on carrots. But other than that, it was absolutely delicious all week long. He loved it. He loved the leftover, having the extra food for the next day at lunch. Most of the time it didn't make it to actual lunchtime, but it was something filling to eat, and it did hold you over, right? So yeah, and none of the nights have we been hungry. Like, I've been eating like sprouted grain toast in the evenings, but that's more or less for the sprouted grains.
I've been eating an apple or fruit.
And an apple or a piece of fruit for him, and that's all the extra eating we've been doing. So it is very filling, and we've actually eaten early every night this week. Or was there one night that we ate later? I know we ate at like right at 5 o'clock one night. That night you came to Mom's and we ate there. And then tonight, I don't know what time it is.
5:46.
5:46. Okay, so this is like normal dinner time. And what time did we eat last night? Do you remember?
About the same.
It was earlier last night. So yeah, we've eaten early every night and still not been hungry. So that's awesome. HelloFresh gets a huge thumbs up from me. The prep was super easy and fun. It was fun to do. Okay. All right. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.